Hi, everyone. My name is Lydia Martinez. I am the owner and founder of Elle Marketing and Events. And today I am so excited to talk to you a little bit about some of the behind the scenes things that happen in a strategic marketing agency. We really focus on storytelling more than anything else. Good marketing is good storytelling. And so for us, one of the things that we really try to do is tell the stories of your business in the very best way possible. And sometimes that includes things like blog posts or newsletters or social media. It's connecting you with your potential clients or customers in the place where it's going to resonate with them the most. You always talk about marketing as putting the right content out to the right people at the right place at the right time when they're ready to buy. I would argue that it's actually not just putting the right content out there, but it's telling the right story in the right way to resonate with the exact right people that you're trying to reach at a time when they are ready to make a decision. And so with that, there's a whole bunch of different ways to kind of tell a story. And there's different ways to connect with people through storytelling. We're very attuned to that. And so with marketing, I wanted to show you a couple of different ways that we tell stories and give you a peek behind and talk about start to finish what it is that we do. One of the things that we just wrapped up was a project for the SLC Busker Fest, the Street Artists Performance Festival. And this was an incredibly fun festival for us as far as what it is that we were doing. We were handling all their social media, all their digital ads, working with them on some of the press and media that was happening around it. But we were also doing photography and some videography. And we were doing this so that we can tell the story in subsequent years in a very visual way. Because when I say Busker Fest, it's a street performers festival. You may or may not know what that looks like, but if I show you a picture, then you're going to know pretty quickly exactly what I'm talking about. So let me just go ahead and share my screen here, and I'm going to show you some of our photography that we just did for Busker Fest. This was 2021, and you can see that some of the things that we tried to do was capture moments, capture those little bits of storytelling that help people understand what it is that they're going to experience, that they're musicians, there are magicians, there are street performers kind of walking around and intermingling. There are aerialists, so the hoop performers, and their level of kind of strength, they're drag queens, sword swallowers, performers, all kinds of different people that are doing fun things and that you get to interact with on a really fun level. And that was one of the other things, is that it is interactive. So letting people in and letting them experience this and what it's going to look like and show that audience interaction is huge. What does it look like? Who's here? How is it engaging? And then also just what's going on within it. So showcasing that people are gathered there on the streets and they're watching this incredible performer do incredible things like balance up in the air on one hand. And so this is one example of storytelling. But the behind the scenes of actually doing this, of capturing these moments on video, a lot of that was in advance planning. So we had lists of which performers would be performing where and when they would be there. We also knew exactly who the headliners were, the ones that we wanted to capture no matter what. We knew who we wanted to connect with. We knew that we wanted shots of the audience. We knew that we wanted shots of various performers. We also knew that we wanted photography of some of those specific things, like, for example, the bank, where people could go get cash from an ATM and cash it in for smaller bills to be able to provide tips for the performers. We wanted to capture this act of kind of passing the hat or paying through Venmo or other means. We wanted to capture, the performers engaging or interacting with the audience. So there are photos like this that shows this little girl watching this amazing performer balance on top of this box, and she's trying to do it as well on her daddy's shoulders. There's the audience just in awe of what she's doing and how she's doing it. Juggling fire and what people are seeing and how they're engaging with that as well. And so you can see the background, and you can see like these delighted faces and curious faces, and people that are in awe, people that are clapping, people that are fixated, that are of all ages. And so you can kind of see that. And this is how we tell stories. But it was very carefully planned out before we arrived on location that day, but with room for some spontaneity. And that's what really makes it, one of the things that really makes it fun, is planning to tell stories, telling them in a visual way, capturing this for the future, and then also providing really phenomenal examples of what a business is about. Start to finish. So that's one of the things that we do here. Another one that I wanted to show you was our process for graphic design. This is something else where a lot of times logo design or graphic design or telling a brand story can really help you get to know a brand. You know what it is before you even start out. And so let me go ahead and share my screen again, and I'm going to show you a recent project that we've been working on for the Women's Business Center of Utah. They have launched a brand new Utah women-owned business directory of, Utah women-owned businesses. The directory is there, it's searchable, it's SEO optimized, and this is how we start out doing graphic design for them. So this was kind of our round one. You can see that we actually added comments on here about what we liked, what we didn't like. And we came up with a bunch of different ideas. It's basically throwing a few different things on the wall based on some research and putting it out there for different options. And then talking about what we like, what we don't like. This is round one. You'll notice that it's in black and white. We're big believers that that you should be able to look at a logo in black and white and have it look great in black and white or grayscale before you do full color, because sometimes it will appear as black and white. And then from there, we really decided that we liked the bee concept. So we came back and created a bunch of different bee type icons, some with honeycomb, a few different color palettes. So you can really see we offered variation in the icon, variation in the colors, variation in the fonts, variations in how they're stacked. We did both a horizontal and a horizontal and then a vertical version of the logo. We call those stacked and unstacked a lot of times. Something where the bee is incorporated, all kinds of different colors, different styles, things that were a little bit more abstract. So this was kind of round two of that logo design. From there, we went into round three where we narrowed down the type of bee that we were liking. We talked about what colors we liked. And we also talked about shapes. Did we like the honeycomb around it? Did we not? We also looked at the possibility of incorporating a crown for the idea of a queen bee. And so you can see we started pulling in different things to narrow down what we were looking for. And you'll even see in the notes sometimes, nope, this is not it. Like 100% not it. That's not what we're doing. It's not what we're going for. It wasn't the right direction. So that goes from here's the design brief, here's version 1, here's version 2, here's us narrowing it down even further. And then from there, we actually were able to come up with the final design and what that actually looks like. So here is the brand package for this particular logo. You can see right here, we went with this type of bee, we added the stinger, we folded the wings down so that they are slanting down a little bit. You'll also notice that there's kind of a hidden heart in those wings. And then from there, you've got the honeycomb surrounding the bee, but it overlaps the honeycomb just a little bit. We also they have a queen bee program, and we have an icon that you can pull out where the bee has that crown. The icon can be used by itself. The spacing, we show different ways that it can appear, including on a colored background. We've got a full color palette right here. We've got all the fonts provided, and we've got a pattern. This is how you tell a brand story visually through the branding and through the design. And then from there, you're able to take it even one step further. So we're able to tell stories by pulling that exact brand design into photography. You can see we've got the honeycomb kind of framing these really amazing business owners and showcasing who they are and what they do. And so you can literally see that story of the directory pulled into actual physical design that's designed for the website or for social media ads, things like that. And then from there, we have one other fun thing that we've got going on where we created directory icons. So for all the different types of industries in this directory, we actually created icons for each and every industry that are based on the same style, but it's a way to visually tell the story who you're talking to. So accommodations and food, agriculture and forest fishing, and there's a couple of different ways that you can use that. We've got them in different colors, arts and entertainment. Construction, there's our honeycomb shape, education, finance and insurance, healthcare and social assistance, information, management, manufacturing, other services, professional and technical. So you can see what this looks like and how we're doing this start to finish. This is, again, another way that we tell a visual story of the brand. And once again, this was, 3 to 4 generations of design to arrive at this point. But it tells the story. It gives you a visual cue of what the purpose of this directory is, who belongs on it. It feels feminine and fun, but also powerful and empowering. So those are just a couple of the behind the scenes of how we do what we do, and showcasing the branding behind it. If you need any help with your storytelling, with your visual branding, with your, style guide, with your strategy for actually creating content that tells a great story, please do reach out. We'd be delighted to help you. And then on top of that, we're also teaching regular workshops on all different types of marketing, branding, and informational business topics. And so you can check out our Facebook page for all of those different events and when those are happening. We'd be delighted to have you join us there as well. Again, my name is Lydia Martinez. I am the founder of Elle Marketing and Events, and we are delighted to have you here. Thanks so much for listening.